Morning, folks. Soap of the day is going to be from Williams Mug Soap. This one here is the newer version. I've got a old one still in the box. I haven't tried it just yet. Saved for a special occasion one day. Got the album block complete with no rubber band this morning. I'm going to be using Humphrey's Witch Hazel that is citrus scented. Decided to follow up with the English Leather Aftershave this morning. I also got it whipped up here. Got this in an Old Spice mug and whipped up with a Bruma Shave brush. This morning I pulled out a few hairs. It's still shedding just a bit. Not that I think it's ever stopped, but at any rate, it's these items. In other words, the Williams Mug Soap and the Bruma Shave brush can be found here locally at a grocery store. Brush runs about $4.19 and Williams runs about $1.29. It's pretty inexpensive. Got the Preshave soap here from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. Name of it is Ice. It is unscented, but it is methylated. So I thought I'd go ahead and get started here with this. It's been a little while since I've used Williams on camera. I think the last time I used it when we moved, used it quite a bit. Then it works well for me. It gets the job done. And this one here has been in the Old Spice mug long enough that there is just a little bit of a scent left to it. I mean, just a little bit, not much at all. You really have to take a good whiff of it, at least with my nose. And so scent-wise, that part there is pretty well gone. So for somebody that maybe don't particularly care for the scent of Williams, leave it out in the air long enough. Seems like for me that scent will dissipate quite a bit. It's not quite like yesterday. I used Derby, and it come in a puck form, I guess you might say, in a tub, plastic tub. No, cardboard tub with a plastic lid. And I got it in a mug, but I put the tub down inside. Kind of helps seal up the mug a bit. And the scent is still very much alive in that particular soap. But this one here I just leave wide open for those that maybe don't particularly care for the scent, but maybe like to give the soap a try, see how it works out for you. You can kind of tell. When I first started using Williams, I really struggled with the lathering, and later on I realized it's because I didn't know what I was doing, at least in my opinion. It takes a little bit to, if you can lather Williams, there's not much. If it can be lathered, you should be able to lather it once you learn how to lather Williams. I guess you might see it as a very good one to learn with, because you will learn how to lather with Williams. That's how I look at it. Shaver of the day is another Everett, except for this one here is not gold. And this one here has got the patent of the March 24th of 1914. It is this particular style. Has a relatively short handle. Comes in a got it in a case. Got it in a case, an Everett case like this. Travel case, pretty cool. It's even got the if I can get this open with my hands now that they're wet and slippery. It is got the blade case in there. You can kind of tell that there's two colors in there, but I still appreciate it. It's nice. I like it. And the blade that I'm using today is a feather blade, FHA's, I guess is what it's called. Usually comes with a tin in there. It's been a while since I used this one here. See how it goes. I have a lot of fun with these single edge shavers. For me, they shave pretty good. I don't have, I guess you might say, an issue that maybe some other folks might have with them. Usually I think it has to do with more the blade, and that they're not used to using that particular kind of blade and shaver, getting the angle and pressure right. Through my travels here recently, went to CVS, picked up some more prescriptions and whatnot. We keep CVS in business, in other words. At any rate, instead of going through the drive-thru, we went inside and decided to go down the aisle with all the shaving stuff, and found something pretty interesting. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted it out on Instagram. Just happened to notice one, still thinking about getting it. It looked very similar, but a little bit different than the shaver right here. But it was in a box blade, a blue box at that. Going price for a double-edged safety razor at CVS was $14.99. I posted it out on Instagram. I thought that was pretty cool. It's that, how can you say that, one step closer? I guess you might say making people aware that it still does exist. It is a thing. And yes, they did have blades for the double-edged safety razor as well as the single-edged, as far as that goes, under the CVS brand. Now that particular shaver, the shaver itself was made in China, but the blades would come from Israel, so pretty sure we all know what kind of blades those are. So at least they paired them up with some nice blades. I did leave it on the shelf. I didn't buy it. Just for the, if I buy it, it was more for the sake of just having one in that box and the availability and all that sort of thing. Outside of that, I don't really need one like that since I got that one there. But it was nice to be able to see CVS that it does carry that. Doesn't happen all that often that you finally see something. They rearranged the shelving and everything also, which is kind of unfortunate. Means that some more items got pulled from the shelf. But they still had one container of Clubman aftershave on the shelf. This particular one doesn't carry a whole lot of Clubman. You have to go to a different CVS to get one that has more variety. But at least they're carrying a double-edged safety razor. I thought that was a big plus. It is one of those things that you would think, at least I would think, if I want to be carrying double-edged safety blades, that I would want to carry a razor also. I was kind of surprised though that they went with, if you can't tell, that's a wee bit of feedback there, that they went with that particular kind as opposed to, I guess you might say, your traditional looking Super Speed made by Weishi or something like that. Maybe they didn't think it would sell as well, I don't know. Speaking of Weishi, Vikings blade. Okay, shoots back up. Weishi, the I guess you might call it the nostalgic twist to open, adjustable, all black shaver. Noticed on Amazon that it had dropped down to what, $26 and change, about $27, which is a pretty good price for an adjustable. And if I remember right, at one point in time, that was the one of the Weishi adjustables or whatever that Manic 59 Sharpologist Mark thought that it was the better one of the group. And I had noticed And who knows how long I've been out there, because I don't, it's just every once in a while the mood will strike me to, I guess you might say, start looking, and notice that the Vikings blade on Amazon has a, actually there's two adjustable shavers, DEs, and they come in two different, I guess you might say two different models. One will look very, shape-wise and whatnot, it looks very similar to the other one outside of the coating, and it's the Emperor series. I think the price, depending on which one you get, which one of the coating, runs right between, I think, $52 and $60, I think it is. $60, of course, would be the one with the, it's referred to as Emperor Augustus, which is, looking at, that's the one I'm looking at, because it just, the coating and everything just looks pretty nice. Just don't know that I need another DE razor, especially an adjustable, since I spend more time on an adjustable finding the setting that I like, and that's what I stick with. But there is one thing I did notice about the Emperor series, the Augustus, besides the coating, which looks nice. I mean, it's got a contrasting colors and whatnot, is that the it does mention that the way I interpret it, the way I understand it, is that the on the settings, that it sounds like the settings are, I guess you might say, there's not a large jump in between, let's say 1 and 2, 2 and 3. In other words, I think they refer to it as micro settings, I think it is. I think that's how they worded it. In other words, indicating that it's a finer tune on getting it set the way you want it, which also means that, in other words, the distance between 1 and 9 is probably not very far. But the Emperor series, the handle is, I think it's referred to as fat, thick. So that's kind of reminiscent of maybe like a Fat Boy as opposed to the slim. I don't know, it just looked interesting to me, kind of caught my eye. Versus the Crusader. If I remember right, the Crusader is the one that does not have numbers on it. In other words, the color scheme is fine, it looks good. With the lack of numbers on the adjustable, for me, just doesn't seem like that would work very well. Gotta have numbers, gotta know where I find, okay, I like this spot here. Well, how am I going to remember that next time? Outside the fact, don't ever change it. I guess, in other words, there's a few bright spots of being able to find some stuff out there, either online or in the store. Of course, if nobody ever buys it, they're not going to carry it. That is downfall. But $15 for a DE shaver in the store, for a good price. Looked like it shed another. I think this is the one. Might be a little bit, move it up on my to-do list, changing out that nut. It's a bore nut. I have seen some pictures where these are hand-tied, especially badger nuts. It does make me wonder in this one here, because it sheds an awful lot for something that was glued. Make sure I got my spot over here. It's just a little, it's just a real fine, right through there, a fine line. Pretty good shaver. I enjoy this one. The blade, on the other hand, seems like about 3 shades about what I get with this blade, without doing any kind of stropping or anything with it. In other words, either on the palm or on anything of the sort like that. It just doesn't seem to hold up all that well for me. 3 shaves though, I'm not complaining too much, considering those 3 shaves are pretty smooth. Till you get to that third one, it gets just a wee bit tuggy. I guess maybe I shouldn't complain too much about what I can and can't find in the store around here. I can find Williams. I guess in some areas, you know, finding Williams is a bit of a problem, and here it's not an issue. I can find Williams. It's Cremo products I seem to have a difficult time finding. They come out with something new. For me, it's better to find it online, because I'll never find it here half the time. It's kind of odd, I got a little bit of sting here right there. I don't know if I got my pressure off just a little bit or what. Nothing bleeding though. This particular one, if you're not familiar with this model, it asks you to, more bristles there. See if I can open this up here without making a mess of things. And that's what the blade looks like. So in other words, your traditional single edge blade has a wee bit of a problem using it in this particular shaver, is because you notice that there's 2 hooks here on the side, then you got the 2 hooks at the front. Front ones work out just fine with your traditional single edge blade, but when you get to the hooks on the side, it gets to be a wee bit of an issue because those hooks line right up where those notches are at. So in other words, it's not going to hold that blade in place. The reason why is you're going to need to use a blade like this one here. You can find these at Maggot Razors. I think you get 10 of them for $7 or something like that. Not too terribly expensive, but anyway, that's what the blade looks like. That's inside there. It's a nice snug tight fit. I mean, it clamps it down on it pretty snug. Can't complain about how it's held in there. Got some Humphreys here. If you're not familiar with Humphreys, that's what the restrictor looks like. Pours out pretty nice. Guess you might say ever since I have learned how to lather with Williams, I got, excuse me, at an antique store, they had a package that was all, so, you know, wrapped together, heat shrink, 12 pucks of Williams. I got Williams for a long time. It's a hard puck. It takes quite a bit to wear one down. It'll last a good long while. And I enjoy shaving with it. Inexpensive. I say $1.29. It's hard to beat. The online I ordered that derby puck, which is a good size puck. Ordered it and paid $2 from Modern Man. That one, Modern Man's based out of, well, that's what the restrictor looks like, by the way. Out of the UK, but shipping is pretty reasonable. You can find Parker DEs sometimes on sale for about $15–16, which is more than reasonable. You can't find them here in the States cheaper than that. I haven't used English leather in a while. It smells great. Although I have to say, finding it in Walmart where I'm at, not the easiest thing to do. It's not always on the shelf, in other words. Not sure what's going on with that sort of thing. At any rate, had a great shave. Great stuff here. I like Williams. I'm a big fan. At any rate, hope everybody's doing well. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.